I'm going to take you through the exact steps to get your book published quickly, cost effectively, and legitimately. You can get your book published and a physical published copy in your hand in as little as 5 days. Let's get started. All right, guys, so before I take you through the exact steps for getting your book published, I want to define the criteria needed for a book to be considered published and for you to be considered a published author, and also the pros and cons of self-publishing. The criteria to make your book official is that it needs to be available for sale or distribution in either digital or physical form. And although we all know of Amazon and Barnes & Noble, it can be considered officially for sale, even if that's through your own personal website. Next, it's not required but recommended, and I'm going to show you how to do this, is to purchase an ISBN number for your book. The ISBN is the International Standard Book Number, and with that book number, you're going to assign metadata, which I'm going to go over with you as well, so that there's information that corresponds to that number that's specific to your book. Lastly is going to be the copyright. Now, your book is considered copywritten as soon as it's published, so that copyright is automatic. You can go a step further if you want to register that copyright. I didn't do it for my book, but you can if you want to strengthen the copyright. The pros and cons of self-publishing. Pros are that you will take home all of the profits. You will have full control of the editing and publishing process, and you'll be able to publish very quickly. So in this process, I'm going to show you how to publish and get your book in as short as 5 days. Cons of self-publishing are that you probably won't get distributed through a major retailer like a Barnes & Noble, and it will be harder to get a book deal for this specific book down the road if you self-publish. Lastly, you will bear the burden of all of the costs of publishing and printing, as well as sales and marketing. So let's jump into these steps. First step is going to be to completely finish your book. I did not hire an editor or a copywriter or anything like that. So if you are doing the same, what I would recommend is uploading your entire book into both ChatGPT and Grammarly. Both platforms have free versions, or you can pay a very minimal amount for a monthly subscription. And this will give you clarity that your book is free of typos, errors, spelling, or grammar issues. It's great to just throw them through both of those so that you aren't embarrassed with any misspellings or things like that in your book. So once your book is considered completely edited, then you want to go ahead and buy a ISBN number. So you go to this website, and this is the official one for the United States. It's called Boker, and you're going to go ahead and purchase your ISBN number. Now, if you are publishing your book in multiple formats, you may want to buy the 10-pack, which breaks down to only $29.50 per ISBN number. But if you're only publishing, let's just say, a paperback version of your book, and you're pretty confident that that's going to be the only type, then you can purchase a single one. So you need a unique ISBN number for each format the book will appear in, such as Audible, digital, paperback, etc. So once you purchase that, you instantaneously get an ISBN number. It's that quick. And then you're going to log into the account that you create, and you're going to upload that metadata that I mentioned earlier. So that's going to be a little bit about the author. That's going to be the cover page of your book. So I'm going to click into our title here so you can see, but it's fairly simple to figure out. You are going to need to come up with the price for your book unless you're going to be handwriting that in, which I don't recommend. It's very simple stuff. It should take about 5 minutes to upload this information, and then your book is officially registered with the ISBN. It does take about a week for it to get approved and be searchable in their system. Once you have the ISBN, you have the option of purchasing a barcode. So I didn't purchase one through Boker because it was like $25. You can get a free barcode for your book made through a website called Book OW. And all you do is you put in the dimensions of your book, if it's going to be paperback or hardback, what the page count is, the ISBN number, the price, and then what format you want the file in, and it will email you over a free digital copy of a real scannable barcode. So I'll show you what that looks like in just a minute here. So now you're officially registered, you have your ISBN number, you have a legitimate barcode, which you purchase for free, and you have your final copy for the book. So you are going to go to a website called 48 Hour Books. Now you can use 48 Hour Books. There's a couple others that you can use as well. So the reason that I chose 48 Hours is because I wanted a small amount of physical books up front. If you do not want to purchase a upfront batch of your books and you would rather do print on demand, you can follow those first two steps I mentioned, but use a different printing company that does print on demand, meaning that they don't print the copy until it's actually purchased. So with 48 Hour Books, you can use their design services. So if you don't have cover artwork already made for the outside of the book, the front and back and the spine, they have designers that can do so. If you are going to design that yourself, you can use a free platform like Canva, or of course hire a designer. Once you go into here, you can get a free quote for what type of printing you want, what page thickness you want, what cover thickness you want, how many copies, and you can get a free quote that includes an estimating shipping charge. And with 48 Hour Books, it takes them a day to get you a digital proof. If you approve it same day, hypothetically, it will take 2 days for production, hence 48 Hour Books, and then you get to add on the shipping time. So for me, it was a 2-day ship. Hypothetically, I could get my entire order within 5 business days, which is insane. To give you an idea, I ordered 50 books up front and they came out to about $7 per copy. And then I did add on a $40 physical sample. So after I approved my digital proofs, they send me a full copy, physical copy of the book. And then once I approve that, then they'll put it into production from there. Of course, that will add on a couple of days to your production timeline if you do want to see that physical copy. What I like about 48 Hour Books is if you go over here, they have templates. So you are confident that what you're uploading is in a printable and legitimate format. So you're going to want to use their templates for the inside of the book and the outside of the book. So for my book, I did a 6x9 inside template, which is right here. And that's where you plug in all of the text. Their templates automatically generate the page numbers. It automatically corresponds those to the table of contents. It has suggested font sizes and everything in there as well to make sure your book looks legit. I'll show you what the templates look like when they're actually used once I go through this. They also have the cover templates as well. So that shows you what the parameters are for importing the design. Now, they do have services that you can use through 48 Hour Books. If you're like, I'm not a computer person, I know what I want for the design and I have the information for the book, I don't want to be responsible for putting it together, you can send it to their team and they will do all that for you, and then they will send you a digital proof for approval. So now I'm going to walk you through what those proofs looks like when they're finished and what that barcode looks like. This is the barcode. This is the ISBN number that I purchased for $125 on Boker, which is the official site. Then I got the barcode, which I was able to download for free in a high-res PDF version through bookow.com. Then I used the free templates on 48 Hour Books. And this is the design template for the inner and outer cover. So you can see the yellow, that's going to be the safety margin. You don't want any text or important information out of that. Then you have the bleed, which is the red area here. I'm very familiar with printing, but again, if you're not, use their designer. It is an additional fee, but it will be worth it to make sure that your book looks very professional. So this is the digital proof that they sent me for the inner and outer cover, and then also the spine. You'll see that right here. And then here is where the ISBN number and barcode went. Then the inside of the proof, this is what it looks like. So they provided me with a Word doc template where I plugged in everything, I combed it over, and then I saved it as a PDF and submitted it. And then they shot me this proof back in return. So as you can see, it's got a very nice table of contents. It has a preface, and then it starts going into the chapters with page numbers at the bottom. And it has the author's name on the even pages and the title of the book on the odd pages, which is the legitimate way to do this. So everything I'm going through is showing you how you can do this quickly, cost effectively, but also make it look like a legitimate book. So if you scroll through, you can see that we have chapters, and then at the end we have endnotes, citations, etc. In addition to the book, you're going to need a table of contents. You're going to need either introduction, preface, or foreword, or maybe all three. You don't want to get your book printed and realize, oh shoot, I wish I had a dedication or an acknowledgement in my book. In ChatGPT, enter in the exact type of book you're making and say, in addition to the text of my book, this is the type of book it is. What other information would you recommend including to make sure my book is legitimate in the industry that I'm publishing in? Those are all the steps. Once you get those proofs of the inside and outside of the book, you approve them. You can get that physical sample for $40. Once that's approved and there's no changes, they press print, they ship you the book, and as soon as those books are available for sale, you are officially a published author. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and we'll see you on the next one.